In this video, we'll talk about the disorganized workplace equals the end to productivity. Now that we've looked at addressing disorganization in the home, it's time to move on to the workplace. Here, we look at why clutter in the office causes so many issues. Why is disorganization at work a problem? When you're in a disorganized workplace, there are hosts of issues that begin to arise. Some have a personal effect on you, others affect your colleagues or employees, and some will even impact negatively on the success of the business. When the workplace is cluttered, messy, and disorganized, anxiety can begin to build up among staff members. Not knowing where to find anything can lead to arguments, disagreements, and a negative atmosphere in the office, as well as high stress levels. With no efficient system in place and mess getting in the way, it naturally follows that the entire team becomes less productive. Valuable time is wasted on trying to find lost items or trying to rearrange items that are getting in the way. Employees are also less motivated in a messy, disorganized environment, so productivity levels drop all around. Let's add into the mix the fact that a messy office creates a bad impression for anyone visiting the premises. Whether those visitors are customers, clients, or business contacts, when they see a disorganized workplace, they immediately get the wrong impression about the company and think that it's an unprofessional organization. This also negatively impacts on the success of the business. How to become more focused. The first step to becoming more focused at work is to eliminate any physical mess. Desktops, drawers, cabinets, and other surfaces in the workstation should all be given an overhaul, and any unwanted items should be thrown away, recycled, or put back where they belong, neatly and tidily. When your immediate work environment is tidy, clean, and organized, it becomes easier straight away to concentrate on the tasks in hand. You can quickly see the items, files, and paperwork that you need, so no time will be wasted. You'll also feel a lot less stressed and anxious when everything has a place and stays in it. Eliminating virtual mess. Bear in mind that disorganization in the workplace doesn't end at your desk surface. Virtual mess is another serious problem that can begin to pervade through your mind and cause reduced productivity, low mood, poor motivation, and general stress. Your hard drive and email folders can be a source of anxiety for you if they aren't kept in some kind of sensible order. Virtual clutter can cause just as many problems as physical disorganization, or maybe even more. If you can't find the important file that you need to send to a colleague, or you're trawling through endless emails trying to find an urgent message that you've lost but need to respond to quickly, your stress levels can go through the roof. Tackling this virtual mess is an important component in decluttering your workplace. It will make a surprisingly big difference to your mental well-being. Making your workplace organized. A guide. If you're ready to begin making your workplace more organized but aren't sure where to start, here's some valuable advice. How to tackle organizing your desk. The first step to tackling your desk organization is to declutter any visual distractions. Artwork done by your kids, hundreds of photos of your last vacation, motivational sayings, all of these could be halting your productivity and preventing you from focusing at work. Take a look at the items that are on your desk. Do they all belong there? Any files or papers that should be put away in the correct locations should be stored away now. If there are pens lying around on the desktop, check to see if they work, and if they don't, throw them in the trash. Are there old articles, newspapers, or advertising materials lying about? If they're unneeded, recycle them. Look again at any old binders or files to assess the contents. If the information and papers inside are old or won't ever be needed again, get rid of them. Be ruthless. Tackle your hard drive. A virtual mess can have just as negative an impact on your mental well-being and on your productivity as a physical mess. So begin by reorganizing the computer desktop. If documents have been saved there for years or icons are cluttering your whole screen, you'll struggle to identify the ones you need quickly when you need them most. Delete any unwanted files or icons and tidy up the others so you can have a well-organized screen. Tackle your email inboxes too. It's all too easy to allow your emails to get out of control, especially if you receive hundreds every day. However, setting some time aside to sort out your folders and to delete the trash will help to make things manageable again. If you spot any overlooked messages, reply to them and file them neatly in a folder where you know you can find them again. Once your inbox is tidy, it's important to stay on top of the task. Set aside time each day to check emails and handle them appropriately. Make it your aim to have 0 inbox messages before you go to bed. Top tips for work organization. Do you need more tips to successfully organize your workplace? Here are a few pieces of expert advice that will stand you in good stead. Chuck the junk. Have you used an item in the workplace recently? Are you realistically going to use it again? Just as you would at home, create separate piles to be dealt with later. 3 piles should be here: a trash pile, store pile, and to-do pile. Create an effective storage system. As long as it makes sense to you, it will get the job done. Tackle the to-do pile. Make folders for every project or client you're working with. As soon as the project is complete, go through the folder and throw out any unimportant documents inside. Then, store away the folder in an appropriate location. Maintain a clear desk. Once your desk surface is visible, set aside time every week to keep on top of this. The one-touch rule can help with this. Basically, as soon as a piece of paper touches your desk, deal with it straight away. Bin it, take action on it, or file it. This applies to emails and messages too. Use technology in the best way to save yourself time and effort. Keep an online organizer to combine your to-do list, calendar, and address book in one convenient location. Is your life disorganized? Now that we've addressed the clutter that builds up in the home and the workplace to cause disorganization, chaos, and poor mental health, it's time to look more closely at your life. It's very likely that your life is also suffering from some severe disorganization if you feel as if you're lacking control. What is a cluttered life? As we've already said earlier in this video course, we tend to think of clutter as a physical thing. However, all too often it can be mental or emotional too. When your life is cluttered, all that mess and disorganization is invisible. It's inside your head. Yet that doesn't make it any less stressful to deal with. In fact, it makes it even more challenging to manage. What does a disorganized life look like? How do you know if you have one? There are several signs that you can look out for to tell you that you're suffering from this problem. Firstly, you have a schedule that is overloaded with activities. You seem to be busy for every single hour of the day, with no time to spend on yourself. You feel as if you're constantly at the beck and call of other people, whether those people are friends or family members, and you struggle to fit all of your obligations, commitments, and activities into your already strained lifestyle. You feel as if you have absolutely no leisure time when you can unwind and enjoy yourself. Or when you do manage to grab a few moments for yourself, you feel guilty that you're not tackling the many other tasks that you have lined up ready to go. You feel under increasing pressure to be a better person, to improve yourself, and to fit the mold that the media tells us we should be in. You feel guilty when you don't have the time to cook an elaborate vegan meal from scratch, or fail to get to the gym again this week, or didn't manage to get to your foreign language class so you could broaden your horizons. If you can relate to any or all of this, you have a disorganized life that needs to be decluttered urgently. Why do our lives become disorganized? There are several reasons why your life may have become disorganized. Not all will apply to everyone, but if you're experiencing the feelings we've outlined above, you'll almost certainly recognize some of them. You're neglecting your own basic needs and are therefore making poor decisions. This can lead to stress, anxiety, and obsessive thoughts that prevent you from focusing on more important areas of your life. You have a FOMO, or fear of missing out. This is a very 21st century problem, and a very common one. It's something that propels you to sign up to the gym when you simply don't have time. You take an extra class even when you're struggling with the ones you have. You scroll through Facebook for another hour rather than going to bed. Or you head out for a night at a club with friends even though you know you have to get up to work early the next morning. While FOMO comes from a place of wanting to enjoy a better life, it can end up making your life worse by adding more stress, anxiety, and distractions. You struggle to let go. This may apply to both physical and emotional baggage. Even if something is causing you pain or is making you unhappy, you still struggle to release it, and this causes you to dwell on it over and over again. You haven't learned what enough means. You still feel that you somehow have to be better, to be more perfect, to acquire more things so you can be worthy of acceptance, love, and praise. You haven't grasped the concept that good is good enough, and this leads you to obsess over things in your head that make you unhappy, unfocused, and non-productive. You can't say no. Some people just don't feel able to put their foot down, even when they really don't want to do something. They're too worried about the reaction they'll receive, or about upsetting someone and losing their friendship, even if they stand up for what they want and need. You feel obliged to do things, even when they aren't your responsibility. You haven't grasped the idea that delegation is a good thing, and you worry that you'll lose your importance if you allow someone else to take on a job that has always been yours. The problems of an overloaded life. When your life is overloaded, a host of problems can follow. The disorganization of an overpacked schedule leads you to suffer from poor mental health. You become increasingly anxious and stressed about where you're going to fit everything into your crowded day, week, or month. You also end up with no quality time for yourself, something that everyone needs from time to time to recharge their batteries. When every second of the day is accounted for, you just don't have enough time to wind down, relax, and let go of all the frustrations that you've encountered. Falling into bed at the end of a long, hard day will often lead to poor quality sleep as you struggle to process all the stresses and strains you've gone through. This only serves to make it even more difficult to find the energy and motivation to cope with the challenges that life throws at you. When your life is disorganized, you'll also find that your relationships become increasingly strained. Eventually, you'll become more frustrated, more angry, and more likely to snap at your family members and friends. This will increase tension at home and make life even more stressful and difficult. To organizing your life. Are you ready to take control of your life once more and learn how to organize it so you can enjoy better mental well-being? Then keep watching to discover a few top tips. How to reduce your obligations and commitments. The first step is to look at your various obligations and commitments. Do you really need all of them in your life? Are there some activities that you could quit to give yourself more time to unwind or spend with those who really matter? It's time to weed out anything that you can't live without or that makes you anything less than happy. If it isn't necessary and you don't love it, and it's possible to ditch it, then let it go. Next, be selective when taking on any new activities or pastimes. Before you agree to anything or leap right into something new, take the time to think about it. Do you really want to do this new activity? Will it add something positive to your life? Or will it drain on your emotional resources? Make a decision based on your answers to those questions. A guide to reducing social media use. Social media is proven to be one of the biggest causes of FOMO. It stands to reason that we look at other people's profiles and often feel jealous of the lives that other people seem to be living. However, it's important to remember that in most cases, people present the image of their lives that they want others to see, rather than depicting the real truth of their situation. A family member can appear to be perfect on a Facebook profile, but the members could all be suffering on the inside, without those scrolling past recognizing it. Never compare your inside to other people's outside. If you're finding social media platforms are causing you to struggle mentally, or you're finding that you're spending more and more time scrolling through pages rather than getting on with your life, it's time to reduce your social media usage. How do you get started with this? Short of actually deleting your profiles, you might find that a simple place to begin is simply to sign out of your profiles when you've finished checking them. If you have to go through the rigmarole of signing in every single time you want to check your notifications, you'll soon begin to reduce your usage. If this doesn't work for you, you should try leaving your phone in another room or in an inaccessible location for part of the day, and never keep it by the bed at night. This will help you to limit the amount of time you spend on social media. How to reconsider your routines. Are your routines causing you mental strain? Then it's time to give them an overhaul. It can be all too tempting to stay stuck in a rut because change is scary, but that's rarely a good cause of action when you've lost control of your life. Take a look at how you spend each day. Is it working for you? Which elements are causing you to struggle? How could you move them around to make life easier or less stressful? For example, if you've scheduled a workout at the gym before you go to the office, but you're struggling to get out of bed because you're so exhausted, and then find it difficult to focus at work for the rest of the day because you lack energy, it's time to look at how you can make adjustments. Consider moving the gym to after work or even to your lunch hour, and take some extra time in bed so you can be well rested and increase your productivity at work. Just say no. One of the best things you can do to organize your life more effectively is to just say no. Don't be afraid of hurting other people or losing their friendship or love. Nobody who cares for you will think any worse of you if you back out of an ongoing commitment that you don't have time for, or if you refuse to attend an event or participate in an activity because you simply can't fit it into your life. Saying no can be very difficult, especially if you've never really done it before. However, once you start practicing, you'll find it very liberating. You will never need to accept an invitation that you don't want to accept again. You'll never need to go to an event that you dread or participate in a time-consuming activity just because someone else wants you to. Sometimes it's okay to put yourself first, and when you're trying to take back control of your life and improve your mental well-being, it's perfectly acceptable to decline politely.